left in the game, it beats inside the chest of the best fighter around.
Nick Ropolato powers up and hops off, but not before setting a second-place mark on the hill in the 900 stock category. Vinnie Clark spots that mark set by a fellow ski-doer and wiggles his way just past it. Good enough for a world championship on the 900. Next, it's time to cap the stock classes with the 800s. Ski-Doo stacks the qualifying field with the world beaters ready to conquer Snow King Mountain. Chuck Hogan sets the bar and gets a fourth-place mark. Vinnie Clark climbs higher and higher before he veers off course. But his mark before leaving is good for third among the stock sleds. After clinching his Masters World Championship title earlier in the day, Rick Budge pounds his way through the trench and over the top, picking up second place for the effort. Jason Crane, tired of finishing second, picks a smooth line and tops out, shaving off enough time to get the World Championship in the 800 stock class, completing the sweep for Ski-Doo. At the end of the day, Ski-Doo has picked up 9 world championships. In the event that's the steepest, the longest, the most challenging in snowmobiling, including a category sweep in the 800 stock competition led by Jason Crane.
The man, the mountain, the machine. 800 stock winner. Right here, that's it. Number 1, you did it. That's a big class for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Really nice work. You're number 1. Did you think it was going to be that 800 stock class?
I don't know, you just always hope for the best. I felt pretty good about it, but
You think the weather helped today a little bit?
no.
It's just you and the machine, and that was it.
Just picking your way up through there, you know, that's about all you can do.
When you came back down, when you're taking that ride down, what was going through your mind?
You just sit and wonder, you know, like, how'd I do, because you don't know till you get down here. It's just a lot of anticipation and wondering what's going on.
Well, you did a great job. Fantastic work. Congratulations again. Jason Crane.
Well, we did it. We climbed up Snow King Mountain, and we explored the backcountry of the Grand Tetons. We did it with guts, power on one end, speed and technique, and, well, quite frankly, a little craziness on the other. And you people thought that snowmobiling was just on nice horizontal trails. I want to thank Ski-Doo X Team and my backcountry buddies, Paul, Guiton, and Chaz. Well, from Jackson Hole, Wyoming, I'm Laird McIntosh for the Ultimate Playground. Play hard, play safe.
Go!
Welcome to Death Valley at Clemson University. They have touched Howard's Rock, and the Clemson Tigers getting ready to take on the field to play Maryland. The Tigers trying to ease the pain of last week's humbling 24-7 loss to Virginia Tech. It is a beautiful day at Clemson. This college football game brought to you by Pennzoil. Maryland actually unranked but controlling its own destiny in the Atlantic Division. They have yet to play Wake Forest and Boston College. Clemson at 4-2 now, standing at 4th in the Atlantic Division, but are ranked number 19 in the country. And we welcome you to Clemson. Pam Ward along with Mike Gottfried. And this Clemson University team has one of the most dynamic backfields in the country with James Davis and C.J. Spiller.
Pam, 2 outstanding tailbacks. James Davis and C.J. Spiller can find their way to the end zone. James Davis, 17 TDs and 9 for C.J. Spiller. Now, when you look at both of these backs, they're different styles. James Davis, more of a break tackles, power runner in the secondary. C.J. Spiller with a home run threat. Every time he touches the ball, he can go the distance and get you a TD.
Those two running backs have combined for over 1,500 yards and are averaging 6.5 yards per carry. Now, the University of Maryland, they come in here winners of 3 straight games. Ralph Regent's team, though, they've been living rather dangerously, winning a lot of close games. How are they doing it?
Ralph Regent doing a good job. He's calling the plays for the offense, and he's got a very good quarterback in Sam Hollenbach. Doesn't make mistakes, controls the game, manages the game as Ralph Regent wishes him to do.
They don't really ask Hollenbach to do a whole lot. He is completing 60% of his passes, and the word that you hear whenever people talk about him is how efficient he is. Right now, he's a winner. Maryland right now getting ready to take on Clemson. We expect it to get upwards of around 60 degrees, and we have sunny skies here in the upstate portion of South Carolina. Josh Wilson, one of the best kick returners going, is back for Maryland. He is 10th in the nation and ran one back 100 yards against Georgia Tech. Clemson won the toss but deferred. Maryland, as you see, will receive. Clemson unbeaten at home this season. We're underway. It's a very short kickoff that is fair caught at the 25-yard line by Jason Good. Let's go down now to the field. The third member of our team, Jimmy Dykes.
Thank you, Pam. It has obviously been a long, let me emphasize long, 8 days since Clemson's loss to Virginia Tech. Speaking with offensive coordinator Rob Spence and defensive coordinator Vic Koenig yesterday, you could see and feel the pressure those guys have been under for the past 8 days. Both coaches concerned about the mindset of this Clemson ball club. Just 2 weeks ago, they were ranked in the top 10. They're now in 4th place in their own division. Vic Koenig said it best. How much gas do we have in our tank? We've used a lot of gas, and we've lost a lot of gas over the last 2 weeks. Pam?
All right, and right away there's a flag on the field before we're able to get the first play off. There is Vic Koenig. He is the defensive coordinator and is on the field.
False start.
And a bad start for Maryland.
Number 13. Go first down.
As Dan Gronkowski, one of the wide receivers, moves too soon.
And Jimmy talked about it. Long wait after the Virginia Tech game. This team can't wait to get back to the field.
Maryland, on the other hand, coming off an impressive 27-24 win against Florida State, but they're facing a 1st and 15. Hollenbach will throw if he can get it off. Clemson, one of the best teams in the country as far as sacking the quarterback. That is their 27th of the season, 1st in the ACC and 12th in the country. And Gaines Adams now has a sack in 8 straight games.
29 sacks, 73 tackles for losses. Clemson's defense is in the backfield of opposing teams.
And keep your eye on number 93 in orange. Technically, that was not a sack, as he was stopped right at the line of scrimmage, but close to his 8th straight game with the sack. Hollenbach able to carry it that time and gets it just past the 30-yard line. Tommy Bowden now in his 8th season in charge as the Clemson head coach, and he's 3rd in career wins behind the legendary Frank Howard and Danny Ford, and he actually said that he's thinking more about retirement than Daddy over at Florida State.
He said he wants to retire and watch his dad coach till he's 85.
Like to retire somewhere in Florida. There's Gaines Adams. They'll move him around. He's lined up on the left side this time as Maryland faces a 3rd and 5 on its first possession. Hollenbach throws it and completes it for the first down to Darius Hayward-Bay. Redshirt freshman from Silver Spring, who's really been coming on lately, picks up 9 yards. Impact players for the Maryland offense, you have to start with their senior quarterback, Sam Hollenbach, completing 61% of his passes for his career. Lance Ball is the leading rusher, and Darius Hayward-Bay we just saw catch a pass.
And Hollenbach just moves the change. Nothing flashy, just gets the job done.
Guy who manages the game very well. He did a good job on that 3rd and 5. Another flag comes down.
Substitution, 12 men in the huddle.
So a little mix-up on offense for the Terrapins. Ralph Regent acting as his own offensive coordinator this season, calling his own plays, and in charge of the offense. Charlie Taft had held that position in years past.
Illegal substitution.
Offense, they broke the huddle with 12 players. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And there's Ralph Friedgen, who wants to talk about that. The Maryland offense, they have a couple of big guys in their lineup, including tight end Joey Hanos at 6'8", 267. Their right tackle Jared Gaither, 6'9", 350.
Big offensive line. They need to know where Gaines Adams is lined up all day, because they have to make sure, do not let Gaines Adams get a sack and get this crowd going.
So another penalty now, 1st and 16 for the Terps. Hollenbach again throws the football, completing it to Danny Okendo, and Okendo picks up 8. Okendo, a sophomore from Hackensack, New Jersey. Impact players for the Clemson defense. We've already seen Gaines Adams work some magic, projected to be the 3rd pick overall in the NFL draft. And Dwayne Coleman, a former starting running back, now the leader of the secondary as a senior. Coleman actually went to Vic Koenig last year when he didn't get any carries against Maryland up in College Park and said, let me play D, and it's worked out very well. He is a starting cornerback. 2nd and 8, Ball and Lattimore next to Hollenbach. This is the option Maryland will run from time to time, and Hollenbach holds on to it and gets close to another first down. Chris Clemens with the stop for the Tigers. This Clemson defense is a very good one, 5th overall in the country as far as defense is concerned. They only have 2 senior starters. They were the impact players we talked about, and these are the 6 sophomores. So Vic Koenig, not only a good defense, but a young defense.
Antonio Clay, watch him, the middle linebacker, makes a lot of plays.
He is number 43. That last run by Hollenbach was good for a first down, and Maryland is now into Clemson territory despite a couple of penalties on this first drive. Tailback lands ball, gets it, and he picks up about 3 for the Terps. Antonio Clay, you already talked about him, number 43, is going to pile up some tackles today.
Ralph Friedgen calling the plays, likes the option, because even though you have a big quarterback and he's not real fast, you have to design a defense, and you have to assign men to the dive, the quarterback, and the pitch, so it makes the defense think.
Vic Koenig, the defensive coordinator, says there's so much stuff in the Maryland offense, it's almost incomprehensible. Very difficult to prepare for this offense. 2nd and 7. And going down for a loss, Brandon Cannon gets Lance Ball, and they lose about 3 yards.
Brandon Cannon, number 95, is going to make this play. Gets in the backfield, beats LeBrock at the pulling guard, number 63, Cumming.
Cannon has graduated already, one of several Tigers with their degrees. He has graduated with a management degree. And here's 3rd and 10, and the crowd at Death Valley getting into it. Josh Allen in the backfield. He's a good receiver, and that pass is knocked down, looking for Joey Hanos, but Chris Clemens able to get in and knock the pass away.
Pretty good drive by Maryland, though, because they play the field position game. They have a great punter, so they're going to make Clemson, as they did FSU last week, work the entire field on offense.
That punter you talked about is Adam Podlish, 2nd in the ACC and 10th in the country, averaging over 44 yards per kick. But look out for Jacoby Ford, as he has returned both a kickoff and a punt for a touchdown this year. The true freshman, a former sprint champion in the state of Florida. And that's a great punt, but just goes a little bit too far. Podlish has knocked 14 inside the 20 this season. That's a 49-yarder, but Clemson will start from the 20 when we come back, and we will all get an opportunity to see one of the best running backs in the country in James Davis.
Spell the word Bostaurus.
Bostaurus. B-O-S-T.
Do you believe a starter team sweatshirt makes everything a little more competitive?
A-U-R-U-S. Bostaurus.
Correct.
We do too. Starter. Believe in it, baby.
Bear Grylls is a regular guy like you and me. Except his name's Bear. And he's got a black belt. Joined the Foreign Legion, climbed Mount Everest. Makes a living putting himself in danger out in the wild. On purpose. Just so you can learn how to stay alive. That's just the regular kind of guy he is. Get to know the legend of Bear Grylls on Man vs. Wild. Only on the Discovery Channel. Check your local listings. Bear's coming. Spread the word.
Using only my City Premier Pass credit card, I earn rewards points crazy fast, and I will do it restrained with this restraining device. I start with the points for buying my ticket and Victor's ticket, then earn points for my miles and his. Unbelievable. Using only the City Premier Pass credit card, I rock the house. Big time. Rewarding. Very, very, very rewarding.
Every warrior has been summoned for one final battle. Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Rated M for mature. Mortal Kombat Unchained available on PlayStation 4 to vote.
You are killing me, Berkwood. Hey, take the secret shortcut. I've never heard of the secret shortcut. Because it's a secret, Ham. Take it.
Not bad, Berkwood. You ever taken this trail, Berkwood?
Once. I'm leaving now.
Now would be a good time to have accident forgiveness.
Not too bad.
Or new car replacement. Your choice auto insurance, only from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
This telecast is available on ESPN2 HD, presented by Pioneer Plasma Displays. And that is a look at the Esso Club just down the street from Clemson Stadium, a former real gas station, and now people find other forms of liquid there before they come to the football game. Yeah, they gas up, they get fortified, and they come in and they watch Clemson. The Tigers' first possession of the game. James Davis, number 1, the very talented tailback. That's Will Proctor rolling out. He has a man wide open. It's Chancey Stuckey, and on a blown assignment, Stuckey gets a huge first play for the Tigers, rolling all the way down to the 20-yard line. A 60-yard gain on their first play.
I talked to Dabo Sweeney, the offensive receiver coach, and he talked about Chancey Stuckey. He said just having him back in the lineup means so much. Well, Proctor gets a pass out of broken coverage. Great field position for Clemson.
Stuckey all by himself, an all-ACC first-teamer last year. He missed 3 games this year after breaking his foot. He had surgery and still is back playing as James Davis' first carry is good for 2 yards. He's closing in on 1,000 for the season. The Clemson offensive lineup, they have a lot of big guys up front. Their offensive line is averaged 320 pounds and have given up only 5 sacks all year. That is tops in the country. Dustin Fry in the middle, very articulate. We met with him yesterday. Nice guy in the running the center position. C.J. Spiller and James Davis both now in. And Davis gets it right up the middle. He has taken down Aaron Henderson, making the stop. Henderson, a sophomore from Aberdeen, Maryland, really coming on in the last couple of weeks. In fact, Henderson is one of our impact players on defense, along with Wesley Jefferson. Jefferson is Maryland's leading tackler, and Josh Wilson, perhaps the most talented Turk back there, a very good cover for him.
11th in the ACC in rushing defense, so they've given up a lot of yards.
And they are taking on the team that is first in the ACC in rushing offense. Right now, 3rd and 5. Davis in motion, lining up in the slot. Proctor upstairs again, and that one trickles off the hands of Stuckey. In fact, Will Proctor, was interesting talking to Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator, yesterday, said that he thought Will Proctor was in a slump, which is something you don't often hear in the sport of football, but that's a 4th down, and Jad Dean's going to kick.
Clemson has had problems in the kicking game. If I was Maryland, I'd worry about a fake right here.
Dean, as you see, just 9 of 13, trying here a 32-yard field goal. crowd is very quiet. Couple of Maryland players, that's Conrad Bolston, number 95, going right up the middle.
And that's a big penalty if it's going to be on Maryland.
Because it would give them a first down.
Prior to the snap, offside, defense number 95, 5-yard penalty.
Maryland, the least penalized team in the country, but already they've been flagged for 3 in this game, and that one is just as big as it gets, because instead of trying for the field goal, they're going to get the 5 yards and the first down.
This is big, Pam, because you make that mistake, and all of a sudden James Davis, who has a feel for the end zone, 17 touchdowns this year already. You got to figure they're going to give number 1 the ball.
Clemson offense and goal-to-go situations almost perfect. They've scored 23 of the 24 times, and 21 of those have been touchdowns. So they don't like to kick a lot of field goals. Tommy Bowden earlier this year, very frustrated with his field goal kicker, and said he didn't want to kick again. And this time they get a break with the offside, so it's now 1st and goal. A couple of tight ends in now for the Tigers, but number 1, James Davis, in the backfield. Maryland jumps again, and Davis gets it. Bolston makes the stop, and there are no flags down, even though a Maryland player jumped. It is now 2nd and goal coming up. Here is the Maryland defense. Carlos Feliciano and Conrad Bolston, both over 300 pounds, but Bolston right now is a guy who jumped off sides and gave Clemson another opportunity to keep this drive alive. 2nd and goal, just inside the 10. Proctor on the roll, has Stuckey behind him, but he does not pitch, and Proctor goes down for no gain. Wesley Jefferson making the stop.
Proctor's playing like a quarterback that's in a slump, that he's bothered by his performance last week. This had to be a bust. It was a shovel draw trying to get it inside, but the Maryland had it designed very well on defense.
Against Virginia Tech, Proctor just 11 for 28, 86 yards. As now 4 receivers are in. On 3rd and goal from just inside the 10. Going for the corner of the end zone, and he overthrows it. Aaron Kelly was well covered down there. Josh Wilson, Christian Varner on the coverage.
That's big by Maryland's defense, because after the penalty to give them the first down, now force the field goal again is big.
But instead of the 32-yard attempt, they're 5 yards closer. This will be a 27-yarder.
Maryland's playing for the fake, too. They have 3 linebackers set back deep.
But the kick goes off cleanly, and Dean is able to punch it through from 27 yards. So that drive kept alive by a Maryland penalty, but the 60-yard pass to Chancey Stuckey helped set everything up, and Clemson's off to a 3-0 lead.
That's good. Scary in there.
There's only one place to be on game day. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m.
Shearing. Enemy of engines. Enemy of shearing? Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic, with adaptive molecules that continually separate and reform to help conquer the forces that can tear oil molecules apart. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Every day, workers across America cover our good name with dirt, grease, and mud. And you know what? We're fine with that. Dickies, a legend in work.
Multiply possibilities. Introducing Intel Core 2 Duo, the world's best processors. I want a front door that makes a great first impression for years and years.
You can at the Home Depot with Feather River entry doors. They're made of fiberglass so they won't dent, rust, or rot, but they have the warmth and beauty of wood. And now Feather River is introducing interior wood doors. Plus get 20% off all special order Feather River doors. Feather River doors, exclusively at the Home Depot.
You can do it. We can help.
Sometimes just getting to retirement seems impossible. That's where we come in. As the nation's 401k leader, the Principal offers many simple ways to plan for retirement, making it easier for you to get where you're going. The Principal Financial Group will give you an edge.
ESPN2's college football is presented by Pennzoil, not just oil, Pennzoil. And in part by ESPN Game Plan, maximum college football. To order, call your pay-per-view provider or log on to ESPN.com, search Game Plan. And Dickies, a legend in work.
Nice view of Lake Hartwell, built by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, a man-made lake not far from the Clemson campus. As here at Death Valley Memorial Coliseum, Clemson off to the 3-0 lead. And another short kickoff. They don't want Josh Wilson to touch it at all, and he has it now on 2 kickoffs as Danny Okendo gets it and gets it up close to the 34-yard line. As we check into the studio for the first time, we have 3 guys standing by: Scott Van Pelt, Lou Holtz, and Mark May.
Pam, thank you very much. As advertised, Mark May and Lou Holtz, they've got to go with their backup quarterback here with Reese Stout at College Station. We'll try to simplify the playbook, not turn the ball over. We'll be keeping an eye on all the big games throughout the day. We'll get their analysis as well. All the big games right here in the studio here on ESPN2. We'll send you back to Pam down in Clemson.
All right, thank you, Scott. As we have hit the month of November, Sam Hollenbach looking at number 93, Gaines Adams. One of the best defensive ends in the country, if not the best. 1st and 10 for the Terps on their second possession. And Lance Ball, the tailback, only picks up 2 or 3 on that carry before he is stopped. Clemson defense, a very formidable one under Vic Koenig. But again, talking to him yesterday, he said to us that he's told that he needs to tell his guys they're doing a better job at times. But he's still not satisfied with the way this defense is playing.
Well, Vic Koenig was worried about this Maryland attack, worried about the option.
Says he's gotten every ounce out of his defense this year, and he worries that indeed they are running out of gas. Hollenbach lofting it up high, one-on-one coverage as Okendo was covered by C.J. Gaddis. Gaddis had a great game against Maryland last year with 11 tackles and had good coverage that time on Okendo. And look at this defense. I mean, just about every other defensive coordinator in the country says, boy, I wish I had Vic's troubles.
Vic is he's looking at the glass half empty. But he is a guy, a football coach that demands the best from his players. Never satisfied.
In his second season under Coach Bowden, says he really enjoys working for Tommy and wants to succeed for him. 3rd and 7 for the Terps. Koenig's defense unable to stop that first down as Jason Good, one of the backup tight ends, picks up 12 and a big 3rd down conversion for Hollenbach.
Hollenbach again, safe in the pocket, looks back there. His offensive line doing a good job. Gaines Adams, we talked about him. He's being doubled right there, so they're getting a guard and tackle on him to make sure he doesn't upset Sam Hollenbach.
Hollenbach with some very inexperienced wide receivers on this team, using his tight ends a lot. Good plays H-back as well. Hollenbach throws that one low to Good, and they're going to say he gathered it in. Maurice Nelson was on the coverage.
That's a great catch if he made it. Jason Good Gonna run an option route away from the linebacker. He did make that catch. Looked like he did. Fans don't like it. Maryland gonna rush to the line of scrimmage.
Good, the junior from Baltimore is the fastest tight end for the Terps. And they will get the snap off on 2nd and 4. Lance Ball escapes one would-be tackler and then fumbles it. But Clemson, the question is, was he able to come up with it before the ball went out of bounds? Maurice Nelson was near the football.
They're going to get some input from Ralph Friedgen because it's right on his sideline.
Yeah, it didn't look from here like he had enough room to gather it in. Meanwhile, there's a Maryland Terrapin who is down and hurt on the field, Andrew Crummy, the right guard. Having that left knee looked at, it's already braced up. Here's the replay of the fumble.
Ball comes out.
No,
he didn't have control.
They will look at it upstairs with the replay officials. It's another good look.
Maurice Nelson making the attempt.
He's bobbling it as it went out of bounds and actually hit the ground again. And again, the ruling on the field was that it was not recovered by Clemson, as Crummy is being attended to. And that's not a good spot for Maryland because his backup, Garrett Cligg, is out with a pulled hamstring. So they would have to move Scott Burley over to play that guard position. Burley usually a backup tackle. And a Clemson player is down as well on that play. Still trying to identify him as Crummy is helped off.
A lot of injuries by Clemson this year, and it's hurt their senior leadership. Vic Koenig talked about that the other day. He said, I'm the leader on the practice field. I can't be in the huddle on the field. So he said, I need somebody to step up.
That is Darrell Scott, number 97, the starting nose guard, first-year starter. And so as they take a look at Darrell Scott, Maryland has the football in a first down when we return to Clemson.
Yeah, this thing is smunchy.
Smunchy?
Soft, melty, crunchy. It's smunchy.
I'm thinking Graffelti. Crunchy, soft, melty.
No, it's more about crunchy, chewy, cheesy. Crunchy.
Nice.
I know. Knuckle me. Thank
Nice.
you.
Oh, okay. I'll just...
Taco Bell's Cheesy Gordita Crunch. Warm flatbread covered in 3 melted cheeses, wrapped around a crunchy taco and topped with a zesty pepper jack sauce. It's a textural taste sensation. To get crunchy, chewy, and cheesy, think outside the bun.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Life can be tough for kids whose parents are overseas serving their country. After all, they're making sacrifices too. But there are simple ways you can help make life easier for our military families. And sometimes the simple things can go a long way. I'm Senator John McCain. To find out how you can help, visit the website on your screen. Thank you.
This is an actual reenactment. Mary had just picked up her kids and was heading home to make dinner. Just then, in the blink of an eye, nothing happened. Events like this occur countless times every day, and Progressive Direct is doing something about it, giving real savings to these good drivers. In fact, good drivers who switched to Progressive saved hundreds right away.
That's Darrell Scott being worked on in the sidelines. He was able to get up and walk off under his own power. Rather encouraging sight for Clemson. He has been replaced now by Donnell Clark, who actually started at nose last year and tore his ACL, and then Scott took over for him. So Maryland 1st and 10 from the 38. They trail this game 3-0. Blitz coming. They give it to the tailback ball, and he is taken down by Clay, who was coming in on the blitz. Let's head back to the studio now with Scott Van Pelt.
Thanks, Pam. Taco Bell takes you to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where Mario Manningham is indeed in action as Michigan hosts Ball State. Jerome Jackson took it down here. Looked like he scored. His knee was down. Here he gets into the paint. Mike Hart, though, fumbled out of the end zone. Ball State got on the board, 2 for the match.
When you look at Michigan, this is a senior's last home game today.
Yeah, they have another big game coming up in a couple of weeks, I think. Yeah, down the road in Columbus. Oh, that's a dangerous pass to Darius Hayward-Bay. C.J. Gaddis was all over him. Maryland going backwards on this drive. They lose 7.
C.J. Gaddis, who came to Clemson as a quarterback, moved over to defense, makes a good play on the screen. Show a double screen. Gaddis right there to make the tackle.
And with that tackle, Maryland facing a gigantic 3rd and 21. Got to get all the way down to the 28-yard line to keep this drive alive. That pass is high, completed, though, to Isaiah Williams, but he is about 7 yards short of the first down. So 4th and 7 here, Mike Godfrey. What do you think Ralph Friedgen will do?
I think you punt the football. Ralph looks like he's studying whether to go for this play and try to get the first down. 34-yard line. Got a great punter that's punted 14 punts inside the 20-yard line, but he's going to go for it. Not a bad decision here. You're on the road, make something happen.
There you see Maryland 4 for 9 on the season. Hollenbach on 4th and 7. Has time, and he does complete it for the first down. Ralph Friedgen rolling the dice. And Darius Hayward-Bay, who has really come on in the last couple of games, gets the first down catch.
Good throw by Hollenbach. Again, the offensive line protecting the quarterback. Clemson cannot get close to Hollenbach. All blocked right in there.
Picked up 12 yards on that play.
Hayward-Bay on an underneath route. They cleared it out. He had the first down. Good call by Ralph Friedgen.
Well, he decides to gamble. And Maryland now coming up in the 10th play of this drive. They have it 1st and 10 from the 24. They've yet to get their running game going as Ball is wrapped up by Jock McKissick.
You know, when you look at the running game, they have had trouble running inside, but the option play with Hollenbach getting to the outside has been a good play for the Maryland Terps here in the first quarter.
Lance Ball, the junior from Teaneck, New Jersey, has 6 100-yard games on the season. Maryland really relying on that running game this season as the 11th play of the drive is coming up. Actually lost about a yard on that last carry. Little play action, Ball goes out on a pass pattern and a nicely thrown football for a first down. Another catch for Isaiah Williams, who picks up 13.
Ran an out route. Isaiah Williams really ran a good route, good speed by the sophomore receiver, 6'2", 200 pounds. Here's the fake, holds the linebackers. Good timing throw, good catch.
Williams was a high school sprinter. And Ralph Friedgen said he'd like him to be a little bit more productive, and so far he has been productive with a couple of big catches, good for 28 yards in this game. That one's a first down, 1st and 10 from the 11, and another inside running play that goes absolutely nowhere as Lance Ball is taken down immediately by Rashad Jackson.
Ralph Friedgen calling the plays. As a head coach, very difficult sometimes to prepare and get everything done you need to get done every week. When you have the media, you have the football players coming in with problems, you have the booster club people, you have the administration to talk to. You really have to work at this to call plays as a head coach.
says he's been getting up about 4:30 in the morning, getting home after 11 o'clock at night, so not much of a life. And he admitted to us when we talked to him yesterday that he is just plain tuckered out. 2nd and 10, and now Hollenbach across the field goes against the grain and completes it to Joey Hanos, his tall tight end. He picks up 4 yards on that play.
Joey Hanos blocks, and then he runs to the flat. And the first quarter's over, and a good 3rd down coming up.
A big 3rd down, a 3rd and 6 coming up for Maryland as the 2nd quarter gets underway after this break.
NBA Wednesday, doubleheader on ESPN. Coverage begins at 7:30. The best in German engineering. A powerful motor. And a handling system for precision and control from Braun. Introducing the world's first electric shaver with the expertise of Gillette blade technology. Precisely angled edges cut hair more effectively with every stroke. For Braun's closest, most comfortable shave ever. It even cleans and renews itself. The new 360 Complete from Braun. Precision, control, perfection.
Love hot French fries. And top it off with a parfait. That'll work.
Now's the time to take advantage of the McDonald's Dollar Menu.
Food for my party? Busted.
From parfaits to fries to double cheeseburgers.
Where's my parfait, homie?
If Satan drove a race car, even he'd complain about the scorching heat on the racing oval.
At Charlotte 99, I got so dehydrated, I hit the wall at nearly 200 miles an hour.
In those heat chambers, drivers can lose up to 10 pounds in a race.
The challenge? Get that into this and keep drivers hydrated.
In 2002, we worked with Matt and his crew to develop the Gatorade in-car drinking system, or GIDS.
Matt never gave back the kids. The next year, he won the Cup. From Charlotte to Chicago and beyond, the legend continues.
So, Maynard, now that you're a big star, you're going to need an agent.
Yeah, McQueen, to get me into all them big parties and find me a shack in the hills and... Hey, I can't see!
Actually, you need a different kind of agent. Maybe a good neighbor.
Call a State Farm agent and get the good neighbor service you can count on anytime, anywhere. And check out the Disney Pixar film Cars on DVD November 7th.
I feel better already.
When you take that field today, you've got to lay your heart on the line. And if you do that, we cannot lose. The plane crash is our past. We cannot forget that. We're not honoring them. We're disgracing them. This is where we have come from. This is how we got here. This is who we are today. We are.
We Are Marshall. Rated PG. Starts Friday, December 22nd.
College football presented by Pennzoil. Second quarter about to get underway. Statistically speaking, Maryland owned the first quarter as far as yardage. 60 to 65 yards for Clemson came on one pass play. Proctor to Chancey Stuckey, but they're up 3-0. Here Maryland, 3rd and 6 from the 7 on the 14th play of this drive. Hollenbach with time, has a man wide open at the corner of the end zone, and he's in for the touchdown. That's Danny Okendo scoring his first touchdown of the season, and Maryland leads.
Yeah, give Sam Hollenbach all the credit and his offensive line. They have not, Clemson's defense, not got close to Sam Hollenbach. Gave him time. He found the receiver open.
And that was Okendo, the sophomore from Hackensack, New Jersey. And Hollenbach has been terrific. He's completed 10 of his 12 passes today as Dan Ennis knocks home the extra point. Hollenbach with his 10th touchdown pass of the season, and boy, he did have a lot of time to throw it.
Well, he really did. The offensive line watch as he gets the snap. Offensive line doing a good job to keep him alive to find Oquendo.
Oquendo wide open there. Maurice Nelson closed, but much too late. Coming up, ESPN2 brings you 2 more great college football games. At 3:30 Eastern, Troy Smith and unbeaten Ohio State takes on Juice Williams and the Fighting Illini. And then at 7 Eastern, Boston College and Wake Forest meet with first place in the ACC Atlantic Division on the line. College football presented by Pennzoil. College football primetime on ESPN2 today. And boy, BC and Wake, huge implications. Both Maryland and Clemson play in the Atlantic Division. Maryland has yet to play BC and Wake, and there you see the standings as Clemson had a heartbreaking loss to Boston College in double overtime and then was able to come from behind to defeat Wake Forest when they played this year.
Just wonder if Wake Forest can stand up to Boston College and the muscle that they do on offense. Ryan's been a great quarterback for BC all year. Wake Forest has really overcome some injuries, and Jim Grobe has done a fine job again.
Game we'll get to see on ESPN2. This is our Sonic scoring drive, and Sam Hollenbach, they say he's efficient and manages a game well. So far, so good. 10 for 12, 79 yards, and a touchdown. The Terps up 7-3, and C.J. Spiller gets the kickoff and is corralled down around the 26-yard line as we get you back to Scott Van Pelt.
Nobody told the boys from Muncie about November 18th. Ball State doesn't want to hear about that. Eric Keys on the pick, and Ball State, nearly a 5-touchdown underdog in the Big House. They take the lead over Michigan as we wind down the first quarter. A stunner underway in Ann Arbor.
David Letterman somewhere is pulling for Ball State.
Letterman, the very famous Ball State alum, says that they're going to win this football game, and they are up so far at the Big House.
Not so fast.
Yeah, they still got a ways to go. C.J. Spiller, he's very fast. Spiller is a Florida State high school sprint champion and picks up 4 yards. C.J., the true freshman from Lake Butler, Florida, came here to Clemson, even though James Davis is just one class ahead of him as a sophomore.
He can catch the ball out of the backfield, too. He's got 14 receptions. He's a threat to take it the distance.
He's had 3 100-yard games in his last 5, had 116 against Georgia Tech, which was a very impressive win for the Tigers. Now on 2nd and 5, go right back to C.J., and he is, that's Proctor who held on to it. Will is stopped about a yard short of the first down.
When I look at Clemson, Will Proctor is not playing with confidence. He's playing like a quarterback that's really on eggshells. He's walking on eggshells, and his throwing is off. He needs some confidence.
We spoke with him yesterday, and he was saying all the right things about how he's trying not to pay attention to all the critics. And on 3rd and 1, Clemson gets the first down. Spiller picks up 6, and Clemson keeps this drive going.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let's see what Papa Bowden is doing as we go back to Scott Van Pelt.
Well, finally something to smile about in Tallahassee. Virginia coming to town. Tony Carter, we saw a pick 6 in the Ball State game. This is going the other way for the home team. And then Lorenzo Booker from 1 yard out would take it in, and Florida State all over Virginia early, 14-0.
Been kind of a long season for the University of Virginia. Maryland had a huge comeback win against them a few weeks ago as Spiller gets the carry again and picks up a couple. Tommy Bowden, he said yesterday that he's talked to his dad. His dad is, they talk a lot obviously, but retirement is nothing that, his dad is even thinking about. Tommy's thinking about it. He's already got a little plot of land he's thinking about in the Florida Panhandle.
He's thinking more about it right now.
52 years old, in charge here at Clemson, facing a 2nd and 8. Little play action. Proctor rolling out. Didn't fool anybody. Good job by the Maryland defense, including Jeremy Navarre. who had pressure on him. Let's go down the field now with Jimmy Dykes.
Pam, Will Proctor had 17 misses last week. He said yesterday that he went and watched every throw from last week's ball game. It's the fundamental flaws that he's worked on. A couple of things. He wants to make sure his left shoulder is lined up at his target. He wants to make sure his eyes are at the target and his feet are lined up at the target. He's probably thrown 30 or 40 balls on the sidelines since the game has started, working on those fundamentals. It's the fundamental flaws right now that Will Proctor feels like he's got to concentrate on.
And no confidence, Jimmy. He just plays like a quarterback needs something good to happen.
Converting on third down would help, and Proctor holds on to it. He will not get it. That's a very good tackle by Aaron Henderson. Henderson is the baby brother of E.J. Henderson, who was a great linebacker at Maryland, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and now playing for the Minnesota Vikings. And Aaron has come on. He was hurt last year and has really come on now in his sophomore season. Did not play at all last year after he tore his ACL, and Clemson's got a punt. Danny Okendo waiting for Cole Chason's punt. It's a good one as Okendo hopes that it goes into the end zone, and it just does, barely trickling in. 51-yard punt, but about 2 yards too deep for Chason's liking. Sam Hollenbach has been almost perfect today. When he comes back, he'll have the lead.
Heat. Enemy of engines. Enemy of heat? Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic, with adaptive molecules that continually separate and reform to help conquer heat. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Way back then, we had the horse and carriage.
There was no television then. People listen to the radio.
Get the clothes out, wash them on the washboard.
And then the calculators got smaller and smaller.
45 would drop and it would play.
If you held the rabbit ears in exactly the right position. I used to have to parallel park myself.
Rated M for mature.
Yeah, look, I mean, you looked good. You looked like you were working.
You were fooled. Every time I dunk. Drop 30, 40. It fooled you.
Because you believe that was about me. While I believe
I say he's 5, baby.
But you're not a fool.
Are you?
Let me tell you this, pal. The Fritos chili cheese wrap is a full meal.
Totally, yeah. All wrapped up, and they get the Fritos, the chili, that cheese. It's a hearty
Absolutely,
thing.
man. It's a full meal and a tortilla. I couldn't ask for anything more. I couldn't
Really?
ask. Yeah.
Cool, I'm gonna have your tots then. Is that cool?
What? No, it's
Okay, yeah, they're coming back down to earth there, Screamy.
Fritos Chili Cheese Wrap, only at Sonic. Fritos Corn Chips with chili and cheese and a side of tots, just $2.99. Give a reloadable My Sonic card today. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Clemson bench taking a look across the field at the Maryland Terrapins, up 7-3. Sam Hollenbach off to a dazzling start for the Terrapins. He has a touchdown pass, has only misfired on 2 passes out of 12 attempts. Much improved over last season when he had more interceptions than touchdown passes. And now on the roll, again he finds his man, Joey Hanos, the 6'8" tight end who was a walk-on at Maryland, 11 yards and a first down.
The difference in this game so far is Sam Hollenbach, because he's playing with so much confidence. The play calling, Ralph Region's got him moving around. His offensive line's doing a good job of protecting him. He's the difference in this football game.
Last year, 13 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. This year, 10 touchdown passes and only 5 picks. And he's now 11 for 13 today and has gotten another first down. Keon Lattimore now in the backfield. And Ray Lewis's brother gets his first carry of the day, picks up 5. Michael Hamlin coming up with the stop, and Hollenbach on the last drive about as good as it gets.
He's doing a great job, but Ralph Friedgen is calling the plays. He's calling the right plays. He's moving the quarterback around. Sam Hollenbach has time. I keep talking about the offensive line. I don't think Clemson has got to him one time.
Well, they got close. They got him
first time. First play.
Still right, but still not a sack on that very first drive where he picked up maybe a yard, and that one is zipped. That one had good touch on it, and another completion. Isaiah Williams with another catch, and it's another first down as we get you back to Scott Van Pelt.
Well, Pam, there were some 0-5 teams in the Big Ten who were looking to get off the schneid up in Minnesota. Brian Kupito to Matt Spaeth. Wide open, that's a touchdown. That made it 21-0. As I looked up, they've just scored again, so they're all over Indiana. Meanwhile, Northwestern gets a Terrell Sutton touchdown. They're looking to get off the schneid. We'll bring an update from Ann Arbor in just a minute.
Boy, thanks. And Indiana with the win today would become bowl eligible, but Minnesota out to a huge lead on Terry Hepner's squad. And that's great escapism by Oquendo as he's able to get away from a would-be tackler, C.J. Gaddis. They had 24 missed tackles in that debacle against Virginia Tech, and that was another one in this game.
Yeah, to wrap up, you need to wrap up and take them down. Sam Hollenbach getting the ball out here. Gaddis right there, but he's being blocked, so I wouldn't call that a missed tackle.
Still had a shot at him. There's Vic Koenig, the defensive coordinator. His guys have been on the field already for quite a while. Maryland has had the ball for over 13 minutes. Clemson just 6.5. 2-to-1 ratio. There they get to Hollenbach. Finally, some backside pressure by who else? Gaines Adams, who forces the incompletion.
Gaines Adams needs to make plays. He's the kind of player that can get the crowd into the game. Beats the tackle, comes behind Hollenbach and makes the play.
Hollenbach played 8-man football in high school and really was not recruited out of high school, so he went to a prep school where he was a wide receiver. And Clemson got him. North Carolina had a chance. South Carolina had a chance. They passed. Clemson took him, and he's been terrific. 3rd and 6. Adams double-teamed, and that's enough time to get the pass off, but it's short of a first down. Oquendo gets about a 5-yard gain, so it's going to be 4th and about 1.5. And you think Ralph will go for it again?
No, I don't think he's going to go. He rolled the dice one time at the 35-yard line. He's going to punt the ball.
I don't know whether you saw it, but Hollenbach, when he saw the punt team come on, bobbed his head like, doggone it, I want to go for it.
Potash can put the ball inside the 10, make Clemson work the field.
Adam Podlish, a very good punter. 2nd in the ACC, 10th in the country in net punting, but very good at popping it inside the 20. And he is trying just that, Coffin corner style. And it goes out of bounds, will be marked at the 6-yard line. It was caught by a Terp at the 6 by Isaiah Gardner. And the crowd furious, thinking that it crossed out of bounds a little bit farther up the field. So Podlish does it again, knocking it inside the 20. The Clemson offense tries to get it going again when we return.
That's good. Get in there.
There's only one place to be on game day. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10 a.m.
It's the entire 2 seasons of the Ali G Show. Hello. Back to back to back.
Why did Jesus go around with all them reindeers?
12 shows.
Sexy time.
2 nights.
Respect.
1 marathon.
It's a mess.
The entire 2 seasons of the Ali G Show, back to back. Check local listings for times.
On HBO. Boom.
Do you like a porno?
The champagne glasses may seem familiar, but you've never seen a car virtually park itself. The new LS. Unprecedented.
Whoa, look at these. Those are our latest Motorola phones. The Q has easy access to email. The Razr and the Crazer both have exclusive VCast music, and they're navigation ready. Nice. And of course, they all come with the network. Can I get a bag for them?
Now, get a great deal on our sleekest Motorola phones, like the nation's slimmest smartphone, the Q, just $99.99, or the fully loaded Razr, just $49.99, all on America's most reliable wireless network. Verizon Wireless, it's the network.
Hey, hey, whew. Yeah, you look relaxed for somebody in your condition.
It's because I have Aflac. What do you mean? Oh, when I'm hurt and miss work?
Aflac gives me cash to help pay bills. My health insurance doesn't.
You mean like car payments?
Mm-hmm. Electric bills?
Mm-hmm.
Or the rent?
Yep. Huh. Even food. Chinese is here.
Great. I love duck.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
ESPN2's College Football, brought to you by the new LS, unprecedented, allnewls.com, Verizon Wireless, and Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Spectacular fall weekend here on the campus of Clemson University. Not so spectacular so far for the football team. They trail the Terps 7-3, have the ball first down at the 6-yard line. Jacoby Ford, the true freshman who also is a kick returner, gets the pass and picks up 6 yards before Marcus Wimbush makes the stop. This Clemson offense is trying to get things rolling.
They have to get some safe throws for Will Proctor. Get him involved. Get him some confidence somehow.
Proctor is a fifth-year senior from Winter Park, Florida. There's been some rumblings for Coach Bowden to go to either Cullen Harper or Tribble Reese, one of the backups, because he's been struggling so much as Davis gets the ball to stop a couple yards short of the first down.
Against Virginia Tech, only 8 first downs by Clemson. So Virginia Tech played a 2-deep coverage and got 8, 9 people involved in the run. Sometimes said, okay, if you're going to beat us, let number 14 beat us. And he couldn't do it. So Maryland, with the same kind of plan, stop the run, stop Davis and Spiller, make Proctor beat you.
Clemson with only 29 rushing yards so far. Now the empty backfield as Davis goes out to block for Tyler Grisham, and Grisham on another short pass does pick up 12 yards and the first down. So they're going with the safe stuff, the safer stuff.
Yeah, safe calls and confidence builders. Davis goes in motion, gets a good block on the outside. Watch the running back, we see him right there. Opened it up for the first down.
James Davis going out there. Grisham gets the first down, a sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama. So 1st and 10 from the 26. Davis breaks free. James Davis with one man to beat, and he is able to be tackled by Josh Wilson. Wilson with the touchdown-saving tackle, but Davis's first big play of the game.
And Tyler Grisham was doing a good job downfield blocking for James Davis. Made a good move, but Maryland kept him in front of him. This pops out the offensive line. Very good. Josh Wilson, number 4. Watch how he plays right here. The defensive back gets off the block and makes the play. He saved the TD.
He's the best cornerback on this team, and Davis gets 42 yards on that play. Now well over 1,000 for the season. Chancey stuck. He had a 60-yard catch back in the first quarter. That one discernibly shorter, about 3. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. Clemson's James Davis, we just saw him run for 42 yards, entered today's game with 991 rush yards and 17 touchdowns. Candidate for ACC Player of the Year. We want to know who was the last Tiger to win ACC Player of the Year.
I studied this now. I knew it was going to be something about Clemson. I have this.
All right.
1987.
All right, stone cold lock, and that one is intercepted by by Maryland, no, incomplete as it was deflected high up into the air off the hands of James Davis. Let's go back to the studio and Scott Mantel.
Well, it's back to what folks thought it might be in Ann Arbor, meaning Go Blue is ahead. Chad Henne finds Carson Butler. Beautiful pass on the slant there, and Michigan is up, but they're getting all they want from the boys from the MAC. Meanwhile, it's a defensive struggle up in Madison, 3-3, Wisconsin and Penn State.
Big game there between the Badgers and the Tigers. That pass complete for the first down to Aaron Kelly. Isaiah Gardner on the coverage, but he picks up 7.
Safe throws, just a little slant pass. And again, Tommy Bowden and Rob Spence, the offensive coordinator, trying to get Will Proctor some confidence builders.
Proctor so far in this game 5 for 9 for 89 yards. 60 of those, though, coming on one pass play to Stuckey in the first quarter. Davis, the tailback, gets the handoff, and Maryland strung that one out very well. Dre Moore making the stop. Davis lost about a half yard or so. This is number 19 Clemson taking on the Maryland Terrapins. Maryland's won 3 straight ball games, and they have won those 3 straight games by a grand total of 11 points. James Davis, 17 touchdowns this season, has gone over 1,000 yards on the season, but Maryland winning on so far on a Okendo touchdown catch from Sam Hollenbach, who's played very well for the Terps. Now 2nd and 11 for Clemson. Time for Proctor, but he decides to tuck and run, and the fans are furious as he goes down. Proctor, not the most popular guy in Clemson, South Carolina these days.
Doesn't help that your crowd gets on you either. But Will Proctor, the game against Virginia Tech, didn't do well. Came back here, had one of the things when you lose a Thursday night game, you have to sit with that for 10 days.
He's talked about the criticism, says he does not look at chat boards or anything on the internet because it's all negative. Davis and Spiller in the backfield along with Proctor on 3rd and 10. Time, completion, but short of the first down, about 3 yards short to Stuckey. More discontent from the fans here as Aaron Henderson comes up with his 4th tackle.
Tommy Bowden going to send the field goal team in. I'm going to tell you, Maryland is going to play this very safe. They're going to look for the fake.
Dean has hit from 27 yards out. This time setting up from 32 yards away. Dean has had an up and down season for the Tigers. Makes it a 1-point ball game. So Dean good from 27, now good from 32. Ralph Regent's team now leads 7-6.
First 8-speed automatic transmission. The new LS. Unprecedented.
Dr. Pepper is giving you a shot at $1 million, but first you got to get past me. Log on to ESPN.com, keyword Pepper. Beat me at College Pick'em, and you could be passing for the $1 million live at the Big 12 and ACC Championship games Saturday, December 2nd on ABC.
Be ready. Be ready. Green flag, green flag.
See your local Chevy dealer or log on to ChevyFirst.com.
ESPN Monday Night Football, Mondays 8:30 Eastern.
ESPN, serving sports fans around the world.
ESPN is brought to you locally by Chevy. Visit your capital area Chevy dealers. Chevy, America's #1 brand, America's #1 value. Compare for yourself at ChevyFirst.com.
Campus of Clemson University buzzing a little bit now because the Tigers have pulled to within 1 point of the Maryland Terrapins. Jad Dean with 2 field goals. The Aflac trivia question entering today, James Davis, almost 1,000 yards and 17 touchdowns. We want to know who was the last Tiger to win ACC Player of the Year.
One of those brothers.
There you go.
Right there, Michael Dean in '87.
Michael Dean Perry, his sacks record being severely tested by Gaines Adams. That kickoff goes out of bounds, and Maryland can take it at the 35-yard line. As Chasen, who is the #1 punter, also the kickoff guy, they've been avoiding Josh Wilson all day. And you can't really blame him for that. Here's a guy who's averaging almost 31 yards a kickoff. He's 10th in the nation, but you don't want to kick it out of bounds.
No, both teams have so much respect for the other kickoff return people. Both teams doing different things, trying to keep the ball away from the key guys. Maryland, this is a big drive for Ralph Leachy right now. They held Clemson to 2 field goals. Now control the ball and at least get into halftime being ahead 7-6, but you'd like to get more points on the board.
This is an opportunity for them potentially to use up most, if not all, of the time left in the first half. Maryland has only 28 rush yards, 112 passing yards, which is usually flip-flop for Maryland. And you see the second half, Clemson had that nice drive that took up 4 minutes and 23 seconds of the second quarter that resulted in Dean's 32-yard field goal. Tommy Bowden's team down by a point. Finally, they mark the ball ready to play, and here comes Hollenbach. Hollenbach 14 for 17, 112 yards, and a touchdown pass. Keon Lattimore in the backfield for the Terps. Play action. Hollenbach with time, and that one is floated out towards Jason Good, but it's incomplete as we head back to Scott Van Pelt.
Well, Pam, Nebraska's beaten Missouri 14 straight in Lincoln. They're well on their way to number 15. Zach Taylor to Maurice Purify, who climbs the ladder and goes to get it. Purify's also thrown for a touchdown. That made it 17-0. It's now 17-3 in Lincoln.
Look for a high-scoring game there in Nebraska. Both teams struggle on the road, but play well at home.
And here we have a 2nd and 10 for the Terps. Ball and Lattimore in the backfield. Hollenbach rolling away from trouble, and that one's incomplete off the hands of Lance Ball as we check in the field now with Jimmy Dykes.
Pam, you've talked about Hollenbach's had an efficient first half. I spoke with him during pregame warm-ups. He said the one thing he has to constantly be concerned with this ball game is where is Gaines Adams, the defensive end for Clemson. He said with his speed and his quickness, I've got to be quick and accurate in my decisions today. But what stood out of that conversation to me was this. He oozed with confidence. He had a big smile on his face. He was very relaxed about 45 minutes before kickoff. The total opposite of what we've seen with Will Proctor, by the way.
Absolutely, and it's shown on the field, but now Hollenbach facing a 3rd and 10. And no play as it looked like Donnie Woods, the left guard for Maryland, got up a little early.
Prior to the snap, All-Star, offense, number 69, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And this is a big series because if Clemson holds Maryland right here, they're going to get the ball back with 4:03 on the clock and 3 timeouts left.
Plenty of time. And you see Maryland coming into this game the least penalized team in the ACC. Now 4 penalties. And this one backs them up 5 more yards. 3rd and 15. Got to get to the 45. Butler had an opportunity for 6 points and couldn't bring it in.
That might be the worst throw by Sam Hollenbach in this first half, because he is very fortunate that didn't go back for 7.
He was looking for Joey Hanos, his big tight end, but Cresden, the true freshman from Asheville, North Carolina, had a couple of interceptions in one game against Louisiana Tech. That one would have been a huge one.
And Pam, the punt return team for Clemson, very dangerous.
Maryland only had the ball for 32 seconds in that drive. Accomplish another good hanging punt. It is bobbled but held on to by C.J. Spiller. So Clemson has the ball back with 3:52 left to go in the half, and we go back to Scott Van Pelt.
Pam, thanks. Coming up on the Pontiac Performance halftime report, Mario Manninghammer makes his return for Michigan. We'll update his progress and Michigan against Ball State. Louisville's made their statement. They beat West Virginia, but are they a championship caliber squad? And an update on the Ponies from the Breeders' Cup. That's coming up at the half.
All right, Scott, and that's really the great debate. What do you do with Louisville now? They are unbeaten.
Third.
Mike Godfrey, top 10, we'll have that later. He's already given away that he has him third. We'll see where else Mike has placed the top 10 teams in the country. Clemson, number 19 in the country, according to the Associated Press. And Will Proctor has an opportunity to get his team going, and that one is thrown behind Tyler Grisham.
He's pushing the ball right now. He just does not have a good throwing motion. Rob Spence talked about he went back, and Jimmy Dykes talked about he went back and worked on fundamentals and tried to get his footwork down last week, ever since the Virginia Tech game.
But that's a bad thing. This is their, what, 10th game of the season, and you're working on fundamentals with a starting veteran quarterback. 4 wide receivers in for Proctor. He has time, and he finds Grisham for another short gain as he slides down after a 5-yard gain at the 29. Now remember, he did back up Charlie Whitehurst. He is a first-year starter. In his last 5 games, he has thrown 5 interceptions and had that dreadful game 10 days ago against Virginia Tech. As Tommy Bowden looking frustrated over there on the sidelines on 3rd and 5. Empty backfield as Spiller goes out wide left, and he goes the other way, and that one is picked off. They want a flag. Josh Wilson has the football. There was some contact on Tyler Grisham, but there is no flag, and another interception thrown by Proctor.
I was just thinking about getting out of the half without making a mistake. Will Proctor with that throw, let it get away from him. They should have called a penalty on Philistine. 34.
He had a lot of contact on Grisham. And the frustration just mounting now for Proctor. Now 6 interceptions in his last 6 games. Josh Wilson, known as the big play guy for the Terrapins, comes up with the pick.
Now they're checking whether he really had control of the football on the interception. Looked like he was bobbling the football. Let's see. Can't tell.
We'll take a look at it upstairs, and it definitely looked like the ball came out of Wilson's hands and hit the turf.
Could be a break for Will Proctor.
Call on the field was that it was an interception.
See, there may have been a penalty. First of all, you can't knock a receiver down when the ball's in the air.
The penalty was not called on Philistine, and you cannot review to see whether or not that was a penalty. What they're looking at, obviously, is to see if it was an interception. And from up here, it looks like it was not, as we look at it on replay with all of you. Needless to say, this is a huge call. With 2:55 left, Maryland also has 3 timeouts remaining. Ralph Friedgen, his team, bowl eligible for the first time since 2003. Got that with the victory last week against Florida State as we look again at the would-be interception.
I'm going to say it's incomplete. After that view right there, I'm going to say without a doubt, Clemson gets the punt to football.
If it's ruled an interception, it'll be 1st and 10 for Maryland at the Clemson 40, or, as Coach pointed out, it will be a punting situation, 4th and 5 for the Tigers at their own 29, and this is taking quite a while.
Yeah, I don't know why it's taking that long, but Clemson may dodge a bullet right here because Maryland confident, getting more confidence as this game goes along, but they do not have the football here.
After further review, the play has been overturned. It was incomplete. It'll be a 4th down, 5 yards to go from the 29-yard line.
So Maryland's going to get the ball back, but a lot farther back as Wilson was unable to bring in that interception. So replay working again as it clearly was not a pick. And on 4th and 5 now, Cole Chasen comes in to punt it away.
And Maryland special teams very good. Ray Richleski is the coach that handles that. He's one of the best special team guys in the country.
Remember Richleski, they have not had a block punt. Last time, 1999. That's the longest streak in the nation. Here they are receiving a punt. Danny Okendo had a good game last week with 85 yards on 3 punt returns in the victory against Florida State. Chasen hangs that one up beautifully. Okendo fair catches it around his 35. Maryland takes over with 3 timeouts and 2:47 left to go in the half. ESPN2 is a couple of more great football games headed your way today. 3:30 Eastern. How about #1 Ohio State and Troy Smith taking on Juice Williams and the Hard Luck Illini. And then Boston College and Wake Forest at 7 Eastern. First place in the ACC Atlantic Division on the line. College football presented by Pennzoil and College Football Primetime on ESPN2. Both games coming up later today. So Maryland pushed back to the 34-yard line. They lose 26 yards from where that would-be interception was. So they push back, and that pass, oh, that's dangerous. Somehow able to thread the needle into Hanos. There were orange jerseys all around the football.
Hanos is a big target. Joy Hanos is 6'8", 267. Sam Hollenbach, comfortable throwing that football in there. Had a little window and got it right through it.
Hanos actually was a pretty good basketball player as more flags come down on the field. Hanos walked on as a football player at Maryland.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 80, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Got the 3rd false start for Maryland. There's Hollenbach, as his 2005 was a season to forget, and he has really cut down on the mistakes this year. Has a touchdown pass here today, and is able to get that pass off again to Hanos, who is starting to become one of his favorite targets. Picks up 6 yards. That was great pressure by Rashad Jackson, but Hollenbach got it off.
Hollenbach, Pam, 12-7 as the starter for the Terps.
Not spectacular numbers in his 2nd year now as a starter, but he is in the top 10 career-wise in passing yards, completions, and passing touchdowns. For Maryland, the Terps have had some really good quarterbacks over the years, and Hollenbach's in the top 10 in several key categories. Zinging it again, and that one had too much zing on it as it goes off the hands of Darius Hayward-Bay. Clock stopped with 2:07 left to go, and Maryland's facing a 3rd and long.
Sam Hollenbach played for his father, Jeff. He's his high school coach. So you know when you have a father as a high school coach, he's well skilled in what to do.
Let's see what the coach's kid will do now on a 3rd and 9. Clemson showing blitz. They back off. Hollenbach, plenty of time, and he is able to complete it. That's a terrific catch by Isaiah Williams. C.J. Gaddis had good coverage, but Williams able to extend his hand, brings it in for the first down.
Gaines Adams, number 93, nowhere to go. Two Maryland offensive linemen keeping him out.
Williams with a good grab, and then the interception. Overthrows Hanos. Michael Hamlin picks it off for the Tigers.
He fumbles,
but Clemson still has it close to the 40-yard line. So just when Hollenbach looked like he was on a great roll, he overthrew his target.
Took off on him, and now if you're Clemson, do you try to get down the field, or do you try to hold your quarterback down, get to halftime, and adjust? Clock's going to start on the ready, and let's see what Tommy Bowden and Rob Spence are going to do. Are they going to take the football out of Will Proctor's hands?
Michael Hamlin coming up with his second interception of the season. C.J. Gaddis with a big fumble recovery. Clemson's best starting field position today. 1st and 10 from the 38. They do have all 3 timeouts. Under safety valve pass, C.J. Spiller is taken down, maybe a half-a-yard gain. They're not even attempting to throw the ball downfield.
No, Maryland's going to give them the little short throw and just make the tackle. Now you have 3 timeouts left.
And they're not taking one. And this crowd getting more restless as each second ticks away. There you see both teams with full complements of timeouts. Proctor trying to take a shot downfield, but instead hangs on to it. And he is gang tackled by Aaron Henderson and company. Clemson does call a timeout now with 49 seconds left. So we'll see what Rob Spence and the rest of the Clemson Brain Trust can come up with as they face a 3rd down when we return.
Wherever you see greatness, there's much you don't see. The path that led to the goal, the support of others, and the careful way everything's choreographed to create an effortless end. Fueled by 150 years of teamwork between alumni, students, faculty, and staff, the University of Maryland is now a leading public research university. And together, there's so much more we can do. The University of Maryland. Fear the turtle.
Start your engine.
Clemson University's International Center
for Automotive Research brings industry,
education, and research
to the intersection of science and the imagination.
This new research center in Greenville, South Carolina
connects industry professionals
with top automotive engineers
and the brightest young minds
to define the automotive industry of the future. Performance, fuel efficiency,
safety,
CUI car, driving the future today.
Clemson.
49 seconds left to go. 3rd and 6 for Clemson.
Pam, here's what I'd do. I'd let Will Proctor, let him throw the ball deep. Even if it's picked off, it's like a punt. But let him try to go downfield here.
They had not thrown downfield. They did have a 60-yard pass to Chancey Stuckey back in the 1st quarter, but most of that was Stuckey running the ball after the catch. James Davis on 3rd and 6, close to the 1st down, as he is taken down by David Holloway. So they stay safe, and the clock, meanwhile, is still running.
That says all you want to know about how Tommy Bowden and Rob Spence feel right now. They want to get into halftime. Draw play right there, almost picked up the 1st down. That'll be the key.
Holloway, who made the tackle, is the Terrapin who has not yet gotten up.
Draw, James Davis. Talked about it, breaks tackles.
Very close to that electronically generated 1st down yellow line, and they are measuring, and it is a little bit short by about the length of the football. So now what do you do?
Tommy Bowden, it's a good call. This is really where you earn your money because 36 seconds to go, and Maryland still has 3 timeouts left, so you can't afford to give them field position.
They do have a great run punt. They have a great running back in Davis, so you would think would...
They're struggling on offense, so I don't think you take the chance. I think you punt.
Rob Spence is the offensive coordinator. He is up above us in one of the coaches' boxes, and Tommy Bowden on the headsets trying to come up with something. This offense for Clemson, just with a couple of field goals to show for 180 yards of offense. Maryland has 171, and they are punting.
And they're booing here, but I agree with the call, because when you're struggling on offense, you better get to the house and try to figure out how you're going to make the adjustments in the second half.
Maryland's got the block on. They don't have anybody back deep. They don't get anywhere near the punt. As Chasen has the ball roll into the end zone. Good effort downfield, but it's going to be a touchback.
Okay, for Ralph Friedgen right now, you feel like your team has played very well in the first half. Confidence. Tommy Bowden has to build confidence in his offense at halftime.
James Davis had a 42-yard run. Will Proctor, a 60-yard pass to Chancey Stuckey. So that's 102 of their 180 yards on those 2 plays. And they head into the locker room trailing Maryland 7-6 as we head down to the field in Jimmy Dykes.
Coach, what do you think about the play of Will Proctor in this first half?
Well, you know, right there at that last 3rd and 6, we had a guy, and he pushed him down on the interception. I thought I'd get an interference call. I really can't put that on him. We got to get him some downfield throws where he feels comfortable making.
What do you do to try to calm him down in this ball game?
Well, give him some throws. We'll go in there and talk about some throws he might feel a little more comfortable with.
Any thoughts of making a change at the quarterback position?
No, you know, we only got one series first quarter. We only got it one time. You know, we need a few more at-bats.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time.
Will Proctor, 8 for 14 for 100 yards in that first half. Maryland has the only touchdown. Danny Okendo from Sam Hollenbach, a 7-yard touchdown pass. Terps up 1 at the break as we head now to Scott Van Pelt.
Pam, thanks very much. Welcome into the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report alongside Mark May and Lou Holtz. I'm Scott Van Pelt, and we're obviously following one ACC game and keeping our eye on another. There's basically civil unrest in Tallahassee with Florida State in the bottom of the Atlantic Division of the Atlantic Coast Conference. And Bobby Bowden's club, they came out and they got exactly what they needed, I would imagine, Mayday. They get on the board early.
And Tony Carter does a great job of reading the quarterback's eye here. He's going to take it. The interception all the way in, 35 yards for the score. Florida State's up 7-0.
And then after a blocked punt, Lorenzo Booker, he carries it up and in. At this point, they basically had very little in the way of offense, and yet they had a 14-0 lead. And you would have to think that the very passionate Seminole Nation at least exhales for the moment as they've got a comfortable 17-0 lead over Virginia. Virginia's got 2 wins against Florida State in this series. Both of them came at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. When we come back, we're keeping an eye on Michigan. Mario Manningham is back, but the boys from Muncie and Ball State were making a game of it at least early. We'll update you on the situation there. And Louisville's made their statement, but exactly what do these fellas think the statement was? Are they good enough to be in the title game?
The Raiders rumble with the Seahawks Monday at 8:30 on ESPN Monday Night Football.
Hey, baby.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing much. Just wanted to talk to the most beautiful girl in the world, that's all.
That's sweet.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's just nice to know that I'm the only man in your world. I am the only man in your world, right? Baby?
Switch to the network with the fewest dropped calls. Singular.
Baby, is it Earl?
Singular. Raising the bar.
Cat got your tongue? Earl got your tongue?
Your car needs air to operate efficiently, and a restrictive paper air filter can leave it gasping for breath. K&N Lifetime air filters with high-flow technology aren't made of paper, so air flows more easily. In short, more air means more horsepower. Changing your clogged air filter can improve mileage by up to 10%, and a K&N lifetime air filter never needs to be replaced. Make your move with K&N, the world's best air.
With Adelphia high-speed internet at your fingertips, you can make the most of your digital toys. You can fill your MP3 player by sampling all the songs and downloading the music you love without the wait. Don't just snap your photos, start sharing them. Even the biggest files, fast and easy. That same fast connection lets you react with the speed you need to stomp your opponent online. It's a lot more fun than just twiddling your thumbs.
Get high-speed internet for just $19.99 a month for 3 months. Call Adelphia today.
It's a whole lot of fun.
Cars are fun. Shopping for them should be too. Vehix.com. Just click autos on Comcast.net.
This is the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report.
Well, the Maryland Terrapins were nearly a 3-touchdown underdog down there in Death Valley, but the Terps have gotten a lead, and they have kept Clemson out of the end zone. Thus far, they have a 1-point lead in this ACC battle. Well, November 18th, it's been circled on everybody's calendars. Lloyd Carr was sort of grumbling about wanting to bye, but there is no bye. Folks would suggest that 21-0 against the MAC, Ball State representative bye, and after Jerome Jackson takes it in, the Wolverines are up. But what happens here, Mayday?
Michael Hart doesn't fumble. Michael Hart fumbles. What? Brooklyn Booker strips him of the ball. The first time in 665 touches, Michael Hart lost the fumble.
Mario Manningham on the field, and Chad Henne here trying to throw the slant, and Eric Keys picks it, and Ball State, nearly a 5-touchdown dog, moves ahead in this football game, but deep breath for everybody in Go Blue Country. It's Henne, Carson Butler. Michigan goes up at that point 14-9. They have piled on 10 more points. Ball State's added a field goal, and as I say, Michigan's never lost to a MAC club, and as they head to halftime, they're up a dozen. Meanwhile, from the SEC, Florida and Vanderbilt, Urban Meyer's squad waiting for a real breakout SEC game where they just hang it on somebody, and here early on, Chris Leak takes it up the middle. Normally it's Tebow doing that, but this time it's Leak. We know there's been some issues in the kicking game here for the Gators. Not always the most sound part of the snap. It came early, but Butch Rowley picks it up, throws to Dane Casey. It's an unconventional way to get the deuce. The Gators up 8-0, but Bobby Johnson's team always seems to play you tough. Lou, this is a pretty good club.
That's a good ball club. They played very well this year. And this goes in for a touchdown. Let's remember this. Last year, Vanderbilt almost beat Florida in Gainesville.
That was Kason Jackson Garrison. This is Chris Leak to Dallas Baker.
The touchdown maker.
There you go. And Florida getting, I know, I believe it was Kirk Herbstreit said that Florida maybe should be on upset alert, and Vanderbilt giving Florida game as we speak, 15-6 in the second quarter. We take a look at the BCS standings, fella. I want to make this very, very clear. At the moment, we see West Virginia ahead of Louisville, and that is only because these were the standings that came before Louisville knocked off West Virginia on Thursday night. So they make their statement. But, fellas, and I want to start with you first, Coach. They make the statement, but what does that statement say? Is it enough in your mind that if they win out, they ought to play in the BCS title game?
I don't think because you're a citizen in this country, that gives you automatic right to play in the national championship game. I think the top 2 teams were the best 2 teams playing that national championship game. I thought it was a great win by the University of Louisville. Yes, they were outgained by West Virginia. Yes, there were a lot of things that went against West Virginia, but let's give Louisville credit. They're a fine football team. I'd have no problem with them playing in the national championship game, but it should be the 2 best teams in the country, and right now, I do not believe they are part of the 2 best.
All right, what do you say, Mayday?
Well, if you're a member of the BCS conferences, the major conferences, Coach, you have the right to play for a national championship if you go undefeated. And I think Louisville will go undefeated. I think they're extremely balanced on offense. You saw them running the football with Kobe Smith, throwing the football with Brian Brown. And Mary Urrutia is one of the best wide receivers in the country. Offensively, yes, I believe they can play with anyone. And I think they're going to go undefeated. And if they do, they will be playing in Glendale, Arizona for the national championship.
I would not ascertain either one of those statements as putting them in granted at the present time, because Rutgers might get them.
It's always a fluid situation around here.
Sure, you got to keep your eye on the prize. But yeah, I think Louisville certainly, if nothing else, they deserve some credit. They've suffered the loss of their quarterback, Brom and Michael Bush, and you lose. Very few teams out there could sustain losses to their skill position players and keep their heads above water. Brom came back, played very well, and they beat West Virginia. So we'll keep an eye on that situation as it relates to Louisville. We'll also be keeping our eye on one of the teams that is a shoe-in to make it to the title game if they handle their business, and that would be Ohio State. They've got to take on an Illinois team that's playing a little bit better. We'll see if the juice gets loose. That's coming up after Maryland and Clemson. And when we come back, we'll see what's going on up in Big Ten country. You know, Wisconsin, all they do is win football games, and Jopa's boys are on the wrong end of the score. We'll let you know what that score is when we continue at the half.
The Pontiac Performance Halftime Report is powered by Pontiac. Vote for this week's Pontiac game-changing performance. Go to ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac.
If you don't get what you want, you scream and you shout. I'm not the only one who said it. If you don't get it, you gotta let it out. Yeah. If you don't get what you need, you're picking on me. I'm tired of getting
Everything's getting faster, sexier, more powerful, and yet less expensive. So why not cars? Say hello to the G6 sedan, G6 coupe, and G6 hardtop convertible. G6, one of the fastest growing brands in America. Pontiac, designed for action.
Every day, workers across America cover our good name with dirt, grease, and mud. And you know what? We're fine with that. Dickies, a legend in work.
Here's to men, to guys who want to spend more time having fun and less time in the men's room. And here's to Flomax. It's approved to treat male urinary symptoms due to BPH, also called an enlarged prostate. In 1 week, Flomax may help symptoms like frequently waking up at night to go, going often, going urgently, weak stream. Ask your doctor if symptoms are from BPH, not prostate cancer. Common side effects of Flomax are runny nose, dizziness, and decrease in semen. Upon standing, a sudden decrease in blood pressure may occur, rarely resulting in fainting. So when starting Flomax, avoid situations where injury could result. To learn more, call 866-4FLOMAX. Ask your doctor. Flomax could make a difference in 1 week.
Welcome back to the Pontiac Performance Halftime Report.
Coach, I know you're a big golf guy, and I do a lot of golf with Andy North, and he told me before the season started, Wisconsin lost everything. They couldn't possibly hope to compete. Well, all they do is win football games. John Stocco, Paul Hubbard, down to the Penn State 24, led to a Wisconsin field goal. I think you got to be impressed with what they've done with very little. Here, the Penn State defense forces a turnover.
They lost everything, but they didn't lose a winning tradition.
That's a good point. And up there in Mad City, it's tough to go in and play. After that turnover, Anthony Morelli, the pass was tipped. There was a flag on the play, but because of the tip, Roderick Rogers' pick stands. Wisconsin with the ball back, and then it is Stocco to Hubbard, the combination you saw a little earlier that moved Wisconsin into scoring range, and this time it's to the paint. Good grab in traffic, low-scoring affair, 10-3 at the half. Well, Minnesota didn't have a Big Ten win. They're 0-5, and fellas, they came out like they were ready to get that win in a hurry. Cupido to Decker here.
Decker does a great job of beating both defenders, getting behind them. Big mistake by the secondary.
Then it is Jay Thomas on the misdirection, and that is just too easy. Indiana with a bowl, with a win here, they're bowl eligible. Maybe they're looking ahead. Do you think, Coach? Can that happen?
They better look to next week because they're getting beat badly here. And that's as good as I've seen the Minnesota offensive line look this entire year. They look like they blocked last year.
That's Cupido to Matt Spaeth, and Minnesota is all over IU as they look for their first Big Ten victory. All right, we head to Nebraska where Zach Taylor finds Brandon Jackson early, and Mayday, you were saying that this is a different club at home by a long shot.
They definitely are. They run the ball much better. Zach Taylor throws the ball better at home, and this is a team offensively that can get it done at home. Here on the first.
There we go.
Pass.
Well, I have never heard that addition. I've heard the reverse shell, but not the pass. That's Maurice Purified to Terrence Nunn. Huskers up early, and then this time it's a more traditional way that we're seeing Purified score, and that's climbing the ladder to catch the pass from Zach Taylor, and Nebraska at that point led by a score of 17-0, and they have continued to pour it on. They've beaten Missouri 14 straight times in Lincoln. Texas Tech in a matchup of two top 10 passing offenses. They are doubling up Baylor as we speak by a score of 28-14. You see the numbers already at the half for Harrell. Nearly 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. And you know, the guy that normally sits in this seat might have an eye on a game that's being played down in Alabama. And, well, this is Michael Herring to Jameel Smith. And if there's a game, Coach, that Sly Kroom could win in the SEC, you've got to think that this would be it. The Bulldogs are winning as we speak over Alabama.
And let's remember this. Alabama's touchdown came as a result of an interception run back for a touchdown by Alabama.
Well, Mississippi State looking to, we're seeing a lot of squads that don't have conference wins trying to get them done. A lot of the teams that are doing it at home. In this case, this is Mississippi State. They are game on the road as we speak, playing the second quarter. Well, Gaines Adams, he's got a sack in 8 straight games, but at the moment, it's Maryland that's got a 1-point lead at the half down in Clemson.
The Pontiac Performance Halftime Report is powered by Pontiac. Vote for this week's Pontiac game-changing performance. Go to ESPN.com, keyword Pontiac.
In Africa, it's all about diamonds.
Here in Smuggler.
How about Soldier of Fortune?
The only reason they're still alive is because you haven't told anyone where it is.
You need my help whether you like it or not.
You're gonna steal this diamond.
You know, in America it's bling bling. But out here it's bling bang.
Blood Diamond, rated R, starts December 8th.
People could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance by switching to Geico. It says here, new customers report average annual savings of over $500.
Easy money.
Easy money. You do have to go to Geico.com.
Which is like what? Asking you to stand up? Hello there, you know, if you stand up, you could save loads of money. I doubt you're going to be like, no thanks, I'm so rich, I think I'll keep my seat.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
More flexibility. More possibility. More opportunity. Welcome to Business on Broadband from Verizon. It's everything you need to be more productive.
Here's the CNBC personal finance tip. Identity theft affects millions. To keep from becoming a victim, be sure to shred financial documents before throwing them away. Never give out financial information over the phone, mail, or the internet unless you are certain it's a legitimate company. And get a free credit report every year from annualcreditreport.com. Take these moves to keep your identity safe. Watch CNBC weekday.
Chevy Chase Bank is the leading local bank with the most branches and the most ATMs. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Monday night, Oakland and Seattle. This is a game that, let's be honest, a couple weeks ago didn't look like much, but Oakland has won a couple of games in a row, and Seattle with a backup quarterback on the field. They need a win. That's Monday, 8:30 Eastern Time. If you think you've seen all the great plays, check out ESPN's College Football Final, powered by Pontiac. For the Pontiac game-changing performances, you can log on to ESPN.com, search Pontiac to vote for the very best plays. Big day here at the Worldwide Leaders. You've got your college football. You've also got the Breeders' Cup all day long. We've got the race result from the juvenile fillies. Probably a joke there, but I'm going to leave it alone. Dreaming of Anna, the winner there. And as I say, Breeders' Cup all day long over on ESPN. Hey, looks like Minnesota's going to break the 0-for-5 Schneid in the Big Ten, and so apparently is Northwestern, although we've seen them let leads get away. Maybe I shouldn't jump ahead of myself. C.J. Boucher to Andrew Brewer in Northwestern. Boy, it's been a disappointing year for Iowa, hasn't it, on a number of fronts. They expected more out of this season.
I thought they could challenge for the Big Ten championship, but not a chance this year the way that they've been playing football, particularly on defense like this when Northwestern can just take it in for the score. Tyrell Sutton there.
Yep, he's a talented little back, and then it's Boucher to Eric Peterman and Northwestern. And again, as I was saying, the fact that it looked like they'd win the game, I'm remembering that Michigan State game in my head. They do lead 14-0 as they look for their first Big Ten victory. Well, Maryland, people have been sleeping on this squad all year. They might need to wake up. Sam Hollenbach to Danny Kendo. It's touchdown Terps. They lead it by 1 as we get set for the second half.
Keywords as we continue with our out.
Friday nights with my best friends. We just have one rule. Everyone orders something different.
Better than good.
Try Olive Garden's new chicken Roma, layered with Italian cheeses and fresh Roma tomatoes. Or try our new Asiago chicken at Olive Garden.
Disciplined investing. It's not about following the crowd. At T. Rowe Price, our independent research means we're not deceived by every market ripple, and we don't chase every fad. For each 1, 5, and 10-year period, over 70% of our mutual funds beat their Lipper average. Low-cost mutual funds from T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a complete prospectus or profile with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Since when does using a dandruff shampoo feel this good? Head & Shoulders Ocean Lift. Its formula is enhanced with a sea mineral essence for scalp that's healthy, dandruff-free, and hair that's revitalized. And it has an invigorating scent that you wouldn't expect from a dandruff shampoo. For hair that's healthy and full of life, take a rejuvenating escape. Head & Shoulders Ocean Lift. Surprise yourself.
This telecast is available on ESPN2 HD, presented by Pioneer Plasma Displays. And some nice fall views on this Clemson University campus, but they are down 7-6 at Maryland, or to Maryland at the half. Pam Ward joined here by Mike Gottfried and Sam Hollenbach, the quarterback from Maryland coming into this. We knew that he wasn't a very spectacular or flashy quarterback, but as he showed us in the first half, he just gets the job done.
Pam, he's done well. But when you look at this offense, look at the offensive line, because they have protected him. They've given him time to look downfield. Clemson has not got to him and has not pressured him.
And no sacks. And remember, they lead the country, or lead the ACC in sacks. And Clemson really had 2 big plays in this game. That's it. This is one of them. Chancey Stuckey gets about a 20-yard pass and turns it into a 60-yard gain. That set up Clemson's first field goal. And then James Davis, 42 of his 53 yards on this one play, set up the second field goal. You take away those 2 plays, and Clemson is averaging 2.9 yards per play. Davis in the first half with 53 yards rushing, and C.J. Spiller has been a non-factor, the talented freshman, 3 carries for 13 yards.
And they had to settle for 2 field goals. This is a big drive right here coming out of the half.
Oh, and he's taking it out. Jacoby Ford about 5 yards deep in the end zone, and is tackled down around the 17-yard line as we go down to the field. And Jimmy Dykes.
Well, Pam, I talked to Coach Friedgen as he came out of that Maryland locker room. He said, first of all, he loves the way his receivers are playing in this ball game. They're running disciplined routes. They're blocking well. He couldn't say enough about what his receivers have done for Sam Hollenbach. And he said, matter of fact, Hollenbach has really managed the game as well as he's done all year. His decisions are great. He just misread the coverage, he says, on the 1 interception. He finished up by telling me this: we must run the football in the second half to win this thing. Pam? Tom.
Thank you, Jimmy. And they have not run it very well in the first half. In fact, Hollenbach is their leading rusher with 18 yards on 3 carries, and that's not going to work at all for Clemson as James Davis goes down in a hurry.
I want to go back to what Jimmy said, that Ralph Friedgen said they have to run the football. 28 rushing yards, but they did run some option early in the game and had success. Now Clemson has to find a way to run the football.
Clemson with only 80 yards rushing. They have one of the best backfields in the country. In fact, they are first in the ACC and 4th in the nation, averaging 239 yards per game on the ground. And that is a completion to Chancey Stuckey, a 10-yard incompletion. That should be a first down for Clemson, and boy, Will Proctor needed that.
Ralph Friedgen on the other side is saying it should have been an incomplete pass, that it was bobbling it as he came out of bounds.
Now, Stuckey had it, looked like he had a couple of feet down before Josh Wilson came over and knocked it out of his hands. So Stuckey, who had that big 60-yard catch and run in the first quarter, picks up the first down for the Tigers. Proctor just 8 of 14. It was a shaky 8 for 14 in the first half, and James Davis again is stopped after a small gain of about 3.
I just feel this is a big drive for Clemson. They need to make a statement, go down the field. They have a big offensive line, averaging 239 yards rushing, 4th in the NCAA. Today they have 84 yards. The offensive line has to take this game over.
And remember, 42 of those 84 yards, half of them coming on that one carry by Davis in the second quarter. 2nd and 7, they're staying on the ground, and Davis, who is the power back between he and Spiller, able to power his way towards a first down. David Holloway with a stop.
To me, that's the challenge right now. It's not just the quarterback, it's the offensive line. Open up some holes. Show what you've done in the past in the running game, and just take this football methodically down the field, score TD.
Tigers running backs on the day well under their averages. Davis's average per carry skewed by his 42-yard run, and that's a great play by Josh Wilson as he comes up and tackles Jacoby Ford.
He's made 2 big plays in this football game. He saved a score, making James Davis, he brought James Davis down. This play, the screen right there, that was open for some big-time yardage if Josh Wilson doesn't make the play.
Instead, it is a no gain. Wilson, the senior from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, went to DeMatha High School. Famed basketball program, pretty good football team too, and that's a pretty good throw by Proctor. Tyler Grisham gets it for the first down, and going into the half, Tommy Bowden said he wanted to get Proctor some more downfield throws.
Yeah, down the field and throw the in routes, and Will Proctor with a good throw here, good step. It looks like he's got gaining some confidence here. He's got 2 completions coming out of the halftime.
He is 3 for 3, in fact, in this half is Will Proctor. That one good for the first down, 48-yard line of Maryland. Now Proctor's going to tuck and run and not get much at all. Jeremy Navarre with the stop. Let's go back down to Jimmy.
Well, Payne, I can also tell you the message sent from Tommy Bowden to his team in that locker room. He said, we got 30 minutes left, and that's going to average out about 15 on offense, 15 on defense. He told his line coach, keep hammering and keep pounding. That's the goal right now. He said, don't be surprised. We knew Maryland was a good ball club. Then he also challenged every one of them. He said, look at me. Don't depend on the guy beside you. You make the play. One play in a game like this will be the difference.
It's an offsides against Maryland as Navarre jumps up and gets the touch. It's Clemson team a week ago Thursday just steamrolled by Virginia Tech.
Prior to the snap, offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
They lost that game 24-7, and we were talking to Dustin Fry, the starting center yesterday, and he said, you know, he's played in some tough ball yards in his day, but he has never played in any place louder and tougher than Virginia Tech's home field.
I like what he said. He said we lost the game. We had to watch the ticker on ESPN. Every day they showed us we lost.
Yep, they were able to watch TV on Saturday, and he said, you know, just when you think you can forget it a little bit, the ticker comes up and reminds you that you got your hats handed to you in that 24-7 loss as Davis picks up 4 more.
Like what Clemson's doing right here. Running game, taking some pressure off. Will Proctor's come out in the second half, 3 for 3, as you said, but they got a good mix in their play calling.
Roman Fry was a left guard who is now out for the season. He tore his ACL against Georgia Tech. And on a 3rd and 2, Davis is not going to get it as Josh Wilson again, the cornerback coming up. Josh Wayne about $187 on a good day coming up and stopping the 205-pound Davis.
I've seen a lot of good corners. Josh Wilson may be one of the best in the country. Clemson's going to go for the 4th down.
Or Wilson just getting rid of Aaron Kelly, the would-be blocker. Wilson has 6 tackles, has made some other big plays. And yep, the Tigers are going for it on 4th and 1 in their opening drive here, the second half. And they're not going to get it, or maybe on the stretch. That's a great stretch. Aaron Henderson, though, with the tackle, and they don't get it.
No, this is a good defensive series by Maryland. James Davis trying to stretch out for the 1st down. I don't think he made it.
Now the officials are going to be very sure, but as you see, it's well short of that yellow line. And Aaron Henderson, the little brother of E.J. Henderson, Aaron's from Aberdeen, Maryland, Cal Ripken's hometown. And E.J. is his brother. E.J. came during the Vikings bye week and was able to break down some film with Aaron. And the next game for Aaron, E.J. in attendance against Virginia. Aaron intercepts his first career pass and takes it in for a touchdown. And now E.J. can smile because Aaron just stopped the 1st down.
Boy, he did a good job getting underneath the block and made the tackle on a big, strong back, James Davis.
So Aaron Henderson, number one, takes down the other number 1. And Maryland, boy, their defense come up with a couple of big stops, and they have the ball when we return.
Pressure, enemy of engines. Enemy of pressure, Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic, with adaptive molecules that continually join forces to help conquer pressure. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
How you feel tonight? Yeah, look, I mean, you looked good. You looked like you were working.
You were fooled. Every time I dunk. Drop 30, 40. It fooled you. Because you believed that was about me. While I believe it saves 5, baby. But you're not a fool. Are you?
Bear Grylls is a regular guy like you and me. Except his name's Bear. And he's got a black belt. Joined the Foreign Legion, climbed Mount Everest. Makes a living putting himself in danger out in the wild. On purpose. Just so you can learn how to stay alive. That's just the regular kind of guy he is. Get to know the legend of Bear Grylls on Man vs. Wild. Only on the Discovery Channel. Check your local listings. Bear is coming. Spread the word.
Your risks can change quickly. Make sure your insurance stays in sync, travelers.
It's a tough job being a firefighter, and if you have a cold, it can be 10 times as tough. And the sooner you get to a situation, the sooner you can control it. And it's the way ICAM works. If you can feel a cold coming on, then you can get to it right away. The easier it is to control.
Get Zycam and get over your cold 3 times faster.
I'm Dallin Hart Jr. Welcome to Wrangler Jeans Company, a new generation of Wrangler.
New fits, new comfort, new styles. Wrangler Jeans Company, a new generation of Wrangler. New fits, new comfort, new style.
Welcome back to the campus of Clemson University, the hometown team trailing Maryland 7-6 here at Frank Howard Field at Memorial Stadium. And it's rather quiet here. The folks, I think, a little shell-shocked as their team is trailing Maryland 7-6. Hollenbach in a world of trouble, steps away, goes downfield. He has a man wide open. Jason Good catches it and gets inside the 5-yard line. How cool was Hollenbach on that play?
Pam, you're right. He sidestepped the rush. Josh McKissick came in, pressured him. Watch his footwork right here. McKissick slides, gets enough under the ball. Strong arm, gets a wide open receiver that got behind the secondary. But a good fake by Sam Hollenbach.
Jason Good, the fastest tight end, picks up 57 yards. First and goal from the 4 for the Terps. Ball is the tailback. He gets it and goes down. Might have lost a half a yard or so. Philip Merlin coming in to cut him down.
They have showed me no running inside, so I don't think they can run this football in unless it's an option play.
Maryland taking on number 19 Clemson, the Terrapins, pulling off the upset so far of 7-6, and right now second and goal from the 5. Sam Hollenbach has thrown a touchdown pass and just had a long completion to Jason Good to set up this good field position. Now a little play fake. Hollenbach on the roll, has nowhere to go but down, and he goes down hard around the 4, and I think he probably should have taken off running a little bit earlier on that play.
I agree with you. He was looking for the pass, but I think if he had made a decision to run earlier, he'd have got close. But I think when you look at Maryland's offensive plan, they're better outside in the running game. They cannot run inside.
Antonio Clay makes the stop, so now third and goal from the 3.
Keep your eye on Hinos, the tight end. He's right here.
6'8", big target. Blitz coming from behind, Gaines Adams. It's only a matter of time before Gaines Adams comes up with a sack, and that's a big time to get one.
Gaines Adams with a big play here. Right here, Gaines Adams is going to come off the corner and make the play on Hollenbach. Really comes deep into the backfield.
8th straight game now that Adams has gotten a sack, and that one forces a 31-yard field goal attempt. And Dan Ennis now has hit his last 7 field goals, but that's a bit of a victory for this Clemson defense. Maryland had a first and goal from the 4, but Gaines Adams, with the sack of Hollenbach, makes them settle for 3.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Oklahoma, Texas A&M, UCLA, Cal, or Virginia Tech, Miami. Tonight at 8.
Little Man coming to DVD. Making cute little babies. From the guys who brought you White Chicks and Scary Movie.
We need to take his temperature.
Comes the wildest movie of the year.
Do you want some company? It's that time!
Little Man on DVD and Blu-ray disc November 7th.
It's late. You're hungry.
You're not Karen. It's time for fourth meal.
Melty, crunchy, spicy, and grilled. The tastes are exciting. Only Taco Bell's got it. If it's not fourth meal, it's just food.
Today, I will earn rewards points faster than ever. For speed enhancement, I wear these striped pants. Victor, change it to something faster. I'd like 2 plane tickets to Miami using my City Premier Pass credit card. Since I also have a Citibank checking account, I get more points for paying my bills online. Victor, how do I look? Fast. Grrr, tiger fast. Thanks to City, no one can touch my rewards point skills. Rewarding, very, very, very rewarding.
The last sound you hear before you step on the field.
Click, clack.
Quick,
clack.
Click, click. Click, crack.
I think Kiara's coming. If you haven't discovered the miracle of fusion, it's time you did. Gillette Fusion. Until now, pressure caused irritation. Fusion has 5 blades spaced closer together to reduce pressure, with less irritation and more comfort. Flip Fusion over. A precision trimmer for those tricky places. The comfort of 5 blades, plus the precision of 1. The best shave ever in manual and battery powered. Gillette guarantees it or your money back. Gillette Fusion.
ESPN2's College Football, brought to you by Under Armour Performance. The advantage is undeniable. New Gillette Fusion, the best shave ever in manual and battery power. And ESPN Game Plan, maximum college football. To order, call your pay-per-view provider or log on to ESPN.com, search Game Plan.
Gaines Adams, the hero here on the campus of Clemson University, as Maryland had a 1st and goal from the 4. Adams coming up with another sack. Maryland had to settle for the field goal, and now Clemson again. C.J. Spiller takes it out of his own end zone, and this time gets it just past the 20-yard line as we get another update now from Scott Van Pelt.
Pam, the Maryland game not the only surprise at the moment. Mississippi State gets a pick from Quentin Culberson on the John Parker Wilson pass. And tit for tat, he returns the favor and takes it all the way for a touchdown. And Mississippi State is 2 touchdowns ahead of Alabama. Meanwhile, Andre Woodson, touchdown to Keenan Burton, and Kentucky's back in it against Georgia. Dogs lead it by 4.
That would be a big win for Sylvester Croom if he can hold on. Former Alabama football player.
All the time in the world for Proctor. Has his man, and he hits. Chancey Stuckey. Stuckey's made a couple of big plays. That one's a 20.